feeling pretty confident about PlayStation 4, but Brad, before we started this podcast, you brought a little piece of insight that I don't know why I didn't think of this before.
Yeah, because we've definitely encountered it before, and I don't want to say this is definite. Let's not put all of our eggs in this one basket.
Before.
But the number 4 has some pretty lousy connotations in Asian culture.
Yeah.
Not associated with luck.
No, definitely not.
It is the opposite. It is. My understanding is in Chinese, the character for death and the character for 4 are very similar.
I want to say it's the reading. I think it's the pronunciation is the same or something like that.
Yes, it could be that. You're right. I'm not sure.
Whatever the case, though, it's a lot like the number 13 here. Just like there are no 13th floors anywhere.
It has an unlucky connotation that bleeds into industry.
To the point that, I was reading about a few Japanese electronics manufacturers go out of their way to omit the numeral 4 from their product lines.
Is there a Japanese Final Fantasy 4?
Yes, there is.
Yes, there is.
And look what happened.
But who knows?
It was a mess.
Who knows how it'll shake out.
Series went downhill.
So
I certainly don't think that is necessarily a deciding factor, but it's
interesting.
It's a vote. It's a vote.
It's a factor.
Yeah.
It is absolutely a factor.
It's not the smoking gun that says, "Oh, it'll be Orbis" or whatever.
No, but that
it could.
That pushes me away from the name in a pretty significant way.
If there were ever a time for them to do it, in general, once you've had 3 of a thing, that I feel like after the 3rd thing is the time to break.
Yeah, the diminishing returns on the numbering being a good thing as you go past 3. I agree with that.
Metal Gear Solid 4 is great.
It was.
That's a good one.
The exceptions prove the rule.
Yeah.
They did it on the handheld. I mean, not that PSP is a brand that they necessarily wanted to continue and prop up, but there was no PSP2 there. It was, the PlayStation thing is kind of an established sort of naming convention for them now, right?
Sure.
You could see PlayStation blank for this thing.
So you definitely have PlayStation in the brand, but
no
but you don't get rid of that.
Yeah, that's a tougher one though, right? Because the PlayStation, you start calling people will shorthand it by let's just use Orbis for an example, and drop the PlayStation after a while.
Yeah, well.
Xbox is kind of a brand more than the Microsoft Xbox,
right? But you hear a lot of people just say 360
or 360, right? Yeah. Right,
which they're not going to call the next one the 360. You.
I don't know. Do you call it the 362?
Xbox Infinity,
but you were calling it. It's a weird thing. You were calling it the 360 for at least for my internal rationalization is you're calling it the 360 because there was an Xbox before it that was just the Xbox.
Yep.
So there was a time where it's I don't want there to be any confusion about what system I'm talking about. I'm talking about the 360. But I think we reached a point a while ago, and I feel like just kind of the nomenclature has reflected this. Where people are just saying Xbox. It's calling it the Xbox. The Xbox. And no one even blinks at, wait, do you mean
that
the fucking shitty thing that was only out for 3 years that no one bought? Whatever. I had an Xbox. I freaking loved it. Yeah. But the number of people that have been exposed to the Xbox name via the original Xbox versus the Xbox 360 is night and day. Right. They're not even comparable.
If you said that, if you tried to do that for PlayStation, you would run into brand confusion. If you were I'm going to go buy a PlayStation. I would think PlayStation 2 would jump to mind, but you would have to clarify.
I don't think I would make any assumptions. If you said I'm going to go get an Xbox, it's okay, then you're going to get into a 360, obviously. But if you say I'm going to get a PlayStation, all right, which one?
Right.
There's enough different types of things that have the PlayStation name on them.
It's a whole universe of products.
But I guess I would assume if you said you were going to go buy a Vita, I'd assume you'd go say Vita. You wouldn't say PlayStation.
Right. What if I said my cousin just bought a Nintendo? What did he buy?
But then again, what does Sony care if people are saying PlayStation a lot? It has the brand name on the thing.
Yeah.
The real point is that there is this, consumer affection or just they can acknowledge, they know what PlayStation means.
For sure.
It brings a certain level of quality to the table. Maybe, it's changed a little bit over the years, but still.
Yes, I think that's why you dump the PSP name and you rebrand because there's not a lot of value.
Nothing from PSP, but PlayStation is still has weight. So absolutely, it would be the PlayStation something.
PlayStation, okay.
PlayStation something. But I am backing away from being as certain about PlayStation 4 because of this, which I should know. My home address has the number 4 in it 3 times. So,
well, that's lucky then.
So yeah.
They cancel each other out.
Yeah. So I don't get any Chinese food delivered to my house. I order it, they just don't show up.
Throw it.
They just don't. They
throw it from the driveway.
They park like a block down. They make me come down the driveway to get it. It's a pain in the ass.
Well, there we go. 3 white dudes talking about Asian culture. We're experts.
But I feel like
the Giant Bombcast, your home for cultural sensitivity.
That's right. Well, that's a logical argument then.
Let's talk about women's health while we're at it here, huh? We've got opinions that matter on this subject. We're informed on it. Lady parts, guys, huh? Ew.
They nailed it. They definitely
sure did.
For middle-aged white guys talking to other middle-aged white guys about
that makes sense.
About the concerns that aren't those of middle-aged white guys. Come on down to the Giant Bombcast. We'll talk out our asses all day long.
But there was
I guess that makes sense. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
Okay.
Right, now you mentioned it. Yeah, sure. I can see why Hispanics wouldn't like that. But there was actual news.
Italians are sneaky. It's true.
That makes sense.
I get it.
I can see why Assassin's Creed is popular. Stealth.
Do you think they're counting the stolen copies? I just don't get it.